think what distinguishes this movie from other comic book films is we have multiple characters. And each of our characters has unique powers and unique personalities.
The reason you go to see an X-Men movie, I think, is for the fun of those powers. And what distinguishes us from other comic book movies and from other action movies in general are that our characters have powers. And when they use their powers to fight each other, it's exciting, or they use their powers on the people. It's unexpected because it isn't tools that we have in real life. With X-Men First Class, Matthew very much wanted to choose certain mutants because of their powers and their look.
Each one has their own story and their own drama and their own unique abilities.
This is the prequel, so these characters are all learning their powers, which means that we get to go along with them on the journey.
Shaw has his army. We need ours.
We'll have to train. All of us. Yes? Yeah.
James McAvoy was the most perfect casting for young Charles Xavier. Xavier is a telepath.
He's not actually the man he will be. He's a bit of a monk, really, in the other movies, and he's selfless and egoless. And in this film, he's not selfish, but he's definitely got an ego, and he's definitely self-centered.
Norman, find a bit for me and a brandy for the lady, please.
How did you know that?
Lucky guess.
If I had the ability to read minds and I was at university and I could influence people through my mental powers, I would probably also be a bit of a Lothario. You know, who wouldn't be?
One of the great facets of his power is that he can connect to other people really easily, and I think he's looking to connect, so he sort of builds a family for himself, which I think is quite interesting.
I read the script and I thought, okay, well, this is a really interesting character here, you know, and there's a lot going on here other than just sort of the bending of metal, which is cool.
Yeah, Eric is just straight up cool, you know. Eric is Harrison Ford. Professor X he's Obi-Wan, you know. Yeah, Obi-Wan's great, but at the same time, I was far more interested in seeing Anakin Skywalker in the prequel than I was the young Obi-Wan.
With Eric, or Magneto, you see him exploring the limits and limitations of his powers, which is something that he's not aware of yet, and also the place in him where those powers come from. It's very much about his initial belief that they come solely from anger.
The scene at the beginning with Shaw and the young Eric, where the young Eric does all kinds of crazy stuff, a hell of a lot of that was actual, practical, happened in front of your eyes, which is kind of amazing, really.
Sebastian Shaw, who's the leader of the Hellfire Club, has the power to absorb energy, and the more energy he absorbs, the more he puts out.
Sebastian Shaw's power of absorbing kinetic energy was the hardest power of any mutant power of all 5 X-Men movies. It's the hardest to show. I mean, in the comics, he blows up to, 10 times his size. Well, we thought that would look like the Hulk, and that would look sort of silly. So we needed a different way. Of course, John Dykstra figured out we could do, iterations like...
We wanted Shaw to visibly absorb energy.